What's going on, folks? Welcome to Stu's Garage, and we got Eugene helping us out today. We are going to be working on Dream Car, aka the M6. This DIY is going to apply to the M6 and the M5. I'm not sure what the difference will be for cars like the X6M and the X5M. But anyways, we're going to be changing the spark plugs today. So we're going to include a couple of extra steps in here because this car is not your average M6. We're making a little bit more power. So we have a set of OEM plugs that we're going to be throwing in here. These are OEM updated plugs. That is the part number for my reference and for yours. This is the updated plug. As I said, there was a previous model. This is the newer model. And one cool thing that you see on here is that these plugs, there we go. These plugs have the M logo on them, and these are the Bosch plugs. I know some people like the NGKs, but the person who tuned my engine recommended this specific one. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to change the gap to 0.24. I think these can't come already gapped at almost like 0.35 or 0.30. So we got to close that up a little bit because when you don't gap them, it blows out the spark. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, we've got all of our plugs gapped. The next thing we're going to do is now that we've got the engine cover off, you want to disconnect this reservoir. Only one screw holds it in, and you just lift it up to pop that loose. Next up, we're going to disconnect our intakes and try to pull the intake out. So from what I can see, there is a screw here. We're going to take out this plug here, and then we're going to decouple it from right here. Also, what you're going to need to do is pull off your ECUs. Some people disconnect them. I was able to get the downpipes done without disconnecting the ECUs, and the way you just pull that out is you just pull it. It's got these little rubber thingies that kind of plug in, and you can just pull it loose that way. All right, it takes a little bit of
filming this is like a horror. It's like just pull on it.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of elbow grease to get the intake out. Once you pull that bolt, there's nothing actually holding it in. Make sure you pull this tube off of the side that's kind of covering it, and then there's this little ball joint here that's going to be holding it in, and you just got to pull it straight up. Wait a minute, it's all right.
I hate working on expensive cars.
Yeah, it's definitely a handicap.
I don't want to break it.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, something definitely broke. Alright, so we've got the intakes out at this point. We are going to have to pull the ECUs. I'm just not going to have the space. So I'll show you a little trick for that in just a second. We disconnected this reservoir here. There's two 10mm nuts on there that hold that in. And next up, we're removing the bridge. So if you look straight down, you've got a hole there and you've got a hole there. You've got two Torx screws that you need to pull out. And then you also have a ground strap on each side. So once you pull that out, pull out your O2 sensor wires, and then that bridge will be ready to come out. All right, so we're disconnecting the ECUs, and what I did is I actually numbered each plug and each socket. And the way you pull these ECUs out for these three larger plugs, basically all you do is you just pivot this little thing to the side, and it pushes the plug out. These guys are a little bit tricky. This one has a clip on each side. You have to press that together. It helps if you use a flathead. This one here is the same way, and right now we're trying to figure out how to get this one loose. Alright, so we figured out how to pull this last plug. Basically, this guy here, you have to kind of pull this section out, and the plug actually starts to lift. There it goes. That's how you get that out. So now the ECU is almost free. You've got two coolant lines here to help water cool the ECU. Don't mess with those. So we're just gonna set this off to the side, out of the way, because the spark plug's directly underneath here. All right, so things look pretty bad at this point. The ECU's up on top, that one's all loose. Everything is unclipped from the wiring loom. This guy's hanging around. but it's all necessary and it's all easy. So what I wanted to show you guys from this point here, now that we've had everything out of the way, is you can see all 4 plugs. There's 2 there, there's 1 there, and there's 1 here. So that's all 4 on one side. The other side is basically identical. And from here, you start to ask yourself why you would ever pay anybody $1,100 to do this for you. So the next thing that we're gonna do is to get your spark plug coil packs loose. You want to lift up on these guys, and you might be able to pull it out by hand, but what I've seen somebody do is you actually will hook something to this and pull up on it, because it's kind of difficult. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Pull each of these coil packs out. All right, so part of what I just kind of skimmed over, what I just showed you, is to remove this coil pack. You want to lift up on this little switch thing, and that's actually going to push your connector out. So just make sure you pull the connector so it's not tangled around anything. And then from there, you're going to take your screwdriver. This is a Sharpie, or you could take a Sharpie. Put it through this hole, and that's going to give you what you need to pull that guy out of there, because it's just going to hurt if you try to get your finger in there. Just pull it out just like that, and it should come out pretty easily. And from this point, changing spark plugs is just like any other vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. All right, so one of the things that I'm not sure I showed to you guys was this low profile spark plug socket. And this is a 14 millimeter for BMWs and whatever else uses a 14 millimeter spark plug. I'm pretty sure you could use a regular spark plug socket for this to get the job done. I just went ahead and bought this off of Amazon just because it came highly recommended. Some people said you can't do the job without it. I didn't want to get into the car, you know, into this job and figure out that it didn't work out. So I went ahead and bought it. Plus, this one here that I was using, normally these spark plug tools will have like a rubber O-ring down inside of there that kind of grips onto the back of the spark plug, and that helps you to put the spark plug in and take it out. This tool here actually uses like a neodymium magnet, so that works out a lot better. This low profile tool is it's just way better than the old school style. So I'm glad that I got it. You're not going to need anything else special. I don't know, maybe if you feel like using a U-joint in there, you could do that. And all you're going to need besides the spark plug tool is just a regular size extension. So once you get in there, pop your plugs out, put the new plugs back in, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.